It is November 12th. This is the Legit Betting Edge podcast, episode number 12. I'm Brian Bonito with my partner, Scott Johnson. Scott, how are you today?
Doing good. It's Thursday. We're doing this Thursday. I just got here from the golf course and a crazy Maction night last night. So looking forward to the NFL slate. And before we get going here, just let everybody know you can find me on Twitter at ScojoAZSports. My Instagram is ScojoPicks. I now have a Facebook page with Scojo Picks, so if you're on Facebook, you can find me there. Website is scojopicks.com, so you can find information there. And ready to have a big weekend in the NFL.
Excellent. You can find me at my_bankroll on Twitter. And sure, if you watch my videos. If you are watching this on YouTube, though, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Please.
We would appreciate that. We're trying to build the following. We know it's a process, and as much as we can get every time we do one of these things, the better off we're going to be, and the more information we'll be able to get out to you guys. Sometimes it's a slam dunk. Sometimes it's hit or miss. But either way, we do our homework, and we get better as we go. So that being said, I know we have Thursday Night Football tonight, but let's get into Sunday's games because that's when people will be watching this. Scott, why don't you kick us off with this first game?
Yeah, Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay favored by 5.5, total 50.5 currently. And Tampa Bay coming off of that just atrocious showing on Sunday night. I mean, you almost after the first series in that game, you could see Brady's posture, his body language. He just looked defeated after like the first series. I couldn't believe it. I mean, the game was almost over literally that fast. So I don't know what was going on that night. I know Antonio Brown was there, so I don't know if maybe there was some weirdness going on. They were trying to feel each other out and just had a stinker. I guess that happens. But now they're going into Carolina. This is a division game, and a lot of times when I see a division game and the home team getting points, I usually like that. That's a play that I really, really try to look at. But I don't know, man. Tom Brady, looking at some of the numbers, Tom Brady was like 44, let me look here, 44, 18-1 against the spread after a loss. So I think Tampa Bay is going to go in there and take care of business. I like them to cover this. I know there's probably going to be no Christian McCaffrey for Carolina this week. And, Carolina played a really good game against Kansas City. That was a tough game. But I think Tampa Bay is going to come in there and they're going to take care of business. I like them to cover that 5.5. Don't really have a feel on the total here, but I'm leaning Tampa Bay 5.5 here.
This is just a lean and just some talk about what I feel about this game. I don't have a play on it just yet. I tend to side with you on Tampa Bay, and not so much for Tampa Bay because I think Tampa Bay is going to take a couple of weeks. I think that was a real. Antonio Brown comes in, they try to integrate him, and then they're totally off the entire game. Are they going to be fully in sync this game? I don't think so. I think it's going to take a couple of games for them to get back at the level they were at like 2 weeks ago before they started playing the Giants. And I think it's good for the team. It's good for Tampa to go through this because over the long haul for the rest of the season, I think this builds character, and I think they're not going to let something like this happen again. So better happen this now than, week 14 or something where they're discombobulated before the playoffs start a few weeks later. Now, my thought is this. Carolina is really where the issue is here. Carolina played a very close game against Kansas City. They had another shot. They tried to kick the field goal, right? Kansas City was lucky to get out of there alive. That being said, Carolina, I just think they may run out of gas in this particular game, and I think that bodes well for Tampa Bay to just come up and bite them because they're pissed. That doesn't mean Tampa Bay's firing on all cylinders, but they're going to take advantage of the disappointment of Carolina, maybe a little letdown, maybe a little lull. I think that bodes well for the under, and I think that bodes well for Tampa Bay. Am I going to play the game? I'm not sure yet. I don't expect Tampa Bay to lose this game. If I do anything, I may just tease it. But that's just my perspective on this as I continue to go through the numbers before Sunday gets here.
All right, so we're going to go to Houston at Cleveland. Houston getting 3. I don't know if I looked at this game. I don't know if Nick Chubb's coming back, but I know Houston defensively is just struggling this year. And I know Deshaun, he's having to be the magic man to try to keep them in these games. They've only got 2 wins, both of those against Jacksonville, and they almost lost that game this last weekend against Jacksonville. But Cleveland, 5-3, this, I don't know. I have a hard time with Cleveland. I have a hard time backing them for some reason. I mean, they should win this game, Houston, no David Johnson, Duke Johnson. I don't know that makes a whole lot of difference. Deshaun Watson, like I said, he usually puts up numbers, but this defense just can't stop anybody. So, I would lean. This is probably a game I'm not going to touch at all. I would lean Cleveland here, but I do see a lot of points being scored in this game, and I would probably go to the over. I mean, obviously it's in Cleveland, so I'd have to check the weather, see what's going on weather-wise there. But I think both these teams might go up and down, and I think Cleveland could cover the 3 at home here.
Duke Johnson, he used to play for Cleveland, right? A couple of years ago. So he was their back. They traded him to the Texans. He's not playing, so there's no revenge mode there. Not that he could exact revenge on Cleveland all by himself with an undermanned Houston team. Deshaun Watson is good. He is not great. They don't have creative play calling. So I'm going to say this. I think Houston scores a little less this week than they did last week. They hit 27 last week. I think they drop it down maybe to 21. I look at Cleveland coming out of the bye. I think they're going to come out stout. I think they're going to have a game plan to shut down Deshaun Watson because, I mean, that's what they've been preparing for 2 weeks. They should be able to come in here and shut him down because he is somewhat one-dimensional. For a lot of times, he's got to make something happen because the play breaks down. So is he great at that? No, he's not Mahomes. So I just think they hold him into the low 20s. Cleveland maybe gets to 28. The number's very, very tight on that total. I look for Cleveland to cover this game, and that's what I'd be looking for because if they don't, out of the bye, cover this game, then they're not a very good team, and I don't expect much from them going forward because you had a bunch of time to prepare. Houston's reeling. Houston isn't good, and Cleveland was good. They just got to reboot, and they lost to the Raiders. Just reboot, and I think they take over and take out Houston this week.
Yeah, and one of the angles I like to play in Houston games is fading them in the first half and, taking Cleveland in the first half. But, Cleveland, they're 5-3, but they're minus 31 in point differential this year. So, that's just a hard team for me to back. So this is probably a game. I'm probably a game I'm just going to stay away from altogether here. Baker Mayfield, he's better outside the pocket than in the pocket, but I don't think Houston's going to get any pressure on him at all. So. This is
just one more thing. I did not make a play on this game. Just want to be clear about that. These are just thoughts. I'm spitballing right here based on what I see. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's go. Let's move on. We're going to go to Washington at Detroit. Washington getting 4.5 at Detroit, and Detroit is just. I watch them play, and I'll watch them play for a quarter. They look good. Then I watch them for another. This is another team I just never can get a beat on, and at home. They haven't covered I think they're 0-3 against the spread this year. Washington, as bad as they are, they're still kicking in the NFC East. Anybody can win that division if they can put a little, run here together. Alex Smith's probably going to be, behind center. Is that an upgrade over Allen? I don't know. Can Washington win this game? Absolutely, they can win this game. But I keep waiting for Detroit. If Galladay is there for Detroit, I really like Stafford to win this game and win it pretty easy. But Galladay's still up in the air. So this is probably another game for me where it's just two bad teams. I can't really get behind anything here. Washington has a hard time scoring. Alex Smith threw 3 picks. Will he, now that he gets some reps, would he be a little bit better this week? Probably. But if I did anything in this game, I would take Detroit minus the 4.5. But again, this is probably a game I'm going to stay away from.
I'm looking at this game, and I don't know if I'm going to play it because 4.5 seems like a bit much. But I will say this: Washington obviously has Alex Smith, but he threw for a lot of yards last week. I think he's going to throw for less yards this week. I think they may be stuck in the low teens with their final score, and I think Detroit's still going to be in the 20-24 range, something like that. I think Detroit gets the cover. I look for the under to probably hit in this game. 46.5 is a tricky number though, so I'm not gonna go crazy on that. If I do anything, I may play Detroit or I may tease Detroit down, plus 1.5, and just play that with another game that I like on Sunday. But that's what I'm looking right now. I think Washington will not score a lot of points. I think Detroit gets to about what they've been averaging the last couple of games, 20, 21, maybe 23, whatever it is. But I'm leaning Detroit minus the 4.5, and I'm leaning under in this game. That's the way I see it right now as of Thursday.
All right, let's move on. Jacksonville at Green Bay. Jacksonville getting 13.5 blowout. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay should absolutely dominate this game, and if they don't, you're like, okay, what's wrong? honestly, I didn't even look. These are games I don't even look at because
Right.
can I
Same here.
justify playing Green Bay? I could. I'll take a look at it on Saturday and make a decision for Sunday, but I really don't have any thoughts. 50 points is an arbitrary number. Jacksonville, they did score against the Texans last week. I think Green Bay will be ready for them. They're rested, 10-day rest, right? Is that what it is? Yeah, 10 days.
Yeah.
And come on. Whatever.
The only thing I worry about, I think Green Bay's going to score plenty of points here. I just worry, 13 and a half, you just always worry about them shutting it down and opening that back door for Jacksonville. This defense for Jacksonville is horrible. I mean, Green Bay, they're not a horrible defense. They're not great. So can Jacksonville put some points up? Possibly. But Green Bay should handle this game easy. But like you said, I'll look at it a little bit more.
Let me ask you this. If Jacksonville struggles, does Minshew come in and is Doug Marone's job on the line?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to they're playing this kid out of Oregon, and Minshew, I know he's got the finger issue, but I don't know. I mean, his job could be on the line, but I mean, is it really his job that should be on the line?
Right.
Nobody. And what is it? No players want to stay in Jacksonville ever. Everybody wants out of there. Ramsey wanted out. Fournette wants out. Everybody, and every time they get out, it's always the greatest day of their life when they get out of Jacksonville. So I don't know what's going on there, man. I just nobody ever wants to stay there. So
I think they should have gave Tom Coughlin another couple of years, to be honest. That's just my thought. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's get away from that, and we'll go to a huge division game here. NFC East, the best division in football. Philadelphia at the New York Giants. Philadelphia favored by 3. I keep waiting for Philadelphia. I mean, I know they've been banged up. I know they're hurt. They're covering, they're winning kind of the games they need to win. And I just keep waiting for this team to get going. And every time I keep waiting for them to get going, it just seems like they're stuck in idle. So, again, this is a division game. You got the home team getting points, but the Giants, who can cover on the road like no other, cannot cover at home. So Philadelphia, man, I got to back Philadelphia in this game. I just keep waiting for them to take control of this division. It's theirs. I don't see anybody else really winning this division, but I mean, this division has been horrible. So I like Philadelphia to kind of get it going. I think they're coming off a bye, and I like Philadelphia to get it going this week.
Well, do we have a total on this game at all?
Oh, yeah, I don't. You know what? You can go ahead and go. I'll look. I can get here in a second.
Let me spitball on this. I'll be honest. Look, the Giants played Tampa Bay tough. The Giants go into Washington and beat them. Now they come home. I lean Giants here. I think the Giants might get this victory. We talked about Philadelphia. They played the Cowboys. Cowboys were shooting themselves in the foot. That's the only way they get that victory. The Giants, the Philadelphia tried to shoot themselves in the foot against the Giants. Now they're going to go on the road and be a 3-point favorite. I see maybe a 1-point game here. I see a tight game here by two derelict teams. One of them, they're both, coming up a little bit. I just think it's very, very tight. I'd be very tempted to take the New York Giants with the 3 points. And I'll take a closer look at it. I haven't looked at that game because I was looking at other games, but I will look at it now that we're talking about it. When you talk about things, you tend to process things a little bit and get an idea what you may want to look for and try to find to validate a potential play. For me, it'll be on the New York Giants if I can do that.
Yeah, and the total here is 44.5. And these games in the NFC East have just been low scoring, 22-20, 23-20, 20. I mean, all these games are low scoring games. So the total doesn't interest me here at all. And like I said, Philadelphia, I just keep waiting for, the Giants haven't been horrible. I mean, Daniel Jones, sometimes he gets, going. Sometimes it's just the Giants at home seem to struggle, and on the road they seem to cover. And I don't know why that is, but that's why, again, this is a bad game, 2 bad teams. So I'm not going anywhere near this game, but we're talking about it. So like I said, I just keep waiting for Philadelphia to take control of this, but I've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks and it doesn't happen. So
yeah. Well, they're coming off a bye. They are coming off a bye, and they did win 2 in a row. But are they going to win 3 in a row? And they're a 3-point favorite on the. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, for me, it's the Giants or nothing in this game, so I'll look for an angle there before Sunday. Otherwise, I won't play it.
All right, let's go to Denver at Las Vegas. Denver getting 4. The total here 50. Denver. I kind of like Denver in this game. I mean, Las Vegas, they want to, they went to the Chargers. They want to, last second game there, they almost got beat. And, the Chargers are playing, they just can't they can't figure out how to win. Denver beat the Chargers on a last second play. So that was 2 weeks in a row where the Chargers, that was tough for them. But this Las Vegas Raiders defense for me is really struggling. And, Drew Lock isn't a world beater or anything, but I think he's going to come in here and have some success. I think Las Vegas, they can score points. I like Denver and to cover the 4 here. I think this will be a close game. Las Vegas, they can surprise, but Denver's defense is okay. I know they're beat up a little bit, but I think Drew Lock, and I kind of like Denver to win this game. I'm leaning Denver. This is one of the plays I'm looking at. I'm leaning Denver plus the 4 here.
I like it. Denver covers this game, probably wins it outright. Are the Raiders going to win 3 in a row? I don't think so. Is the game going to go under? Probably. The line was at 52, if I'm not mistaken, that total. I think it's dropped. I think you're looking at I think you're looking maybe a 24-21 game, something like that. Denver wins by 3. So I'm with you on this, and I'll be quite honest. This is my play of the day on Sunday. Okay, before we even get there, yeah, it is. I like this. I think Denver shows up. I think the Raiders are just, the Raiders are just. I think you'll see some turnovers in this game. The Raiders haven't had many mistakes last couple of games. I think you'll see some turnovers. I think you'll see Denver probably be on the right side of one of those, and Denver gets one more turnover than they give up, and sloppy game. And I just think that you're looking at an under and a 3-point win, probably by Denver, low 20s, both teams. Denver clips them, and that's kind of where I'm looking. But I know this is my play of the day on Sunday. You'll see me shoot a video on this. We'll see who watched this before then. If you do that, give us a slam the like button on this thing right now.
All right. Let's move on. This is going to be a good game. The Chargers at Miami, 2 young quarterbacks. The Chargers getting a 1.5. I think Miami opened at 2.5, so some money's coming in on the Chargers here. The Chargers, all their losses have been like by 7 points or less this year, and they've been in every game. And Herbert has been playing really good. Tua had a good game last week against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals were missing half their defense. You got to remember the back end there; they were down to their 4th and 5th corners. I mean, Buda played and Pat P played. Devontae Parker wasn't really involved in that game. It was everybody else in that Miami offense that beat Arizona. So it'll be interesting to see if Tua can, back that game up with another good game. But this Miami defense and this Miami team, I know Tua is a story, but this Miami team is just playing really good football right now. And the Chargers are having a hard time figuring out how to win games. So you were talking about, Denver being your play. This is kind of, I've got 2 games that I really like. This is one of them. I like Miami the Chargers, I love watching them play. I think they can score points, but I think Miami is just one of those teams this year. They figure out how to win, and I like them to cover this game. I like them by a touchdown in this game. I think they're going to win by 6 or 7 points.
I'm probably on the other side of this game. I haven't made a decision yet, but here's my thought. Miami's great as a dog. Now they're expected to win.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So, the Chargers come out their favorite couple of games in a row. Obviously, they can't close the deal against Denver. Who'd they lose to last week? The Chargers.
The Raiders, back-to-back games. They lost on the last play.
Yeah, they lost on the last play, and so I just think they come up with a surge right here, and I think that I'm not really Miami's a very tough team. You might look at the under right here just because both of these teams have been in some battles. But can Tua really hang in there and not make any mistakes 3 games in a row? I don't think so. So I think the Chargers, Anthony Lynn, Anthony Lynn, right? That's coach.
Yep.
Yep. I think he'll be able to scheme up Tua and maybe create a turnover or 2 where he had done that in the last couple of games. I think the Chargers and listen, it's Herbert versus Tua. Herbert's a better quarterback, man. I mean, come on. Herbert's got some. I got some self-respect. Herbert's like, man, screw this kid. I'm going in here. We're going to win this game. And so, so I'm leaning Chargers. I don't have a play on it, but that's kind of my thought. It's for me. I'm going to look for the Chargers, or I'm not going to play the game. I just don't believe Miami's a favorite, or they should be a favorite at any point in time. Right now, I think they benefited from a couple of games. Rams double second game back-to-back road after a Monday night game. I think they went into Arizona. Arizona really screwed up that game, but like you said, I mean, they were missing some players. Still, Arizona should have had that game. Bottom line is, I'm leaning Chargers, or I can't play this game. The under might be in play also. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not as sure as, let's say, the under as I saw in the Denver and the Raider game.
All right. Another division game, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Cincinnati getting a touchdown, and the over-under here, 45.5. And this Cincinnati team I've been watching, I mean, they're 6-2 against the spread this year. Can they win this game? I don't think so. Can they cover it? I think they can cover it. Now, I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to have Big Ben. I mean, it's leaning like he's going to be there. So,
sure.
but Big, I watched Big Ben in that Dallas game, and even before he just all year long, he seems like he's had a hard time getting around and moving. And I don't know if he's hurting. He hasn't really been able to throw the ball deep. And I mean, everything's underneath. They play defense. They run the ball. They control the clock. That's how Pittsburgh beats you. And this Cincinnati team is, I love Joe Burrow. Their defense is terrible right now, but the offense, they're able to score and they're able to stay in games, and like I said, I don't think Cincinnati can win this game, but can they stay inside the 7? I think they could stay inside the 7. I mean, the total doesn't interest me here at all. I'm not doing anything until I know if Ben's playing or not, because then that means it's Mason Rudolph, and if Mason Rudolph comes in, that makes Cincinnati's horrible defense a little less horrible, because Mason can't beat them with their arms, so they're going to have to beat them on the ground. So I'm going to wait till game day to see what's going on here and who's playing. But I kind of lean Cincinnati to stay inside the 7 in this game.
Well, here's where I see this game. Okay, yeah, Roethlisberger may not play. I think he will. Yeah, he's been dinking and dunking. Cincinnati just had a bye, but here's what I think. Cincinnati hasn't really seen any defense yet. I think Pittsburgh's going to pressure this kid, and I think he's going to turn the ball over this week. And I think that's where it's going to be won. And I think Pittsburgh's going to cover this spread. Now, again, I haven't made a bet on it. The only game I've told you that I'm playing for sure is Denver. But just so you know, that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at Pittsburgh -7 or nothing in this game, because look, this is a public dog. Pittsburgh barely beat Dallas. It's at 7. There's going to be money coming in on Cincinnati. I just think they scheme him up. I think he has a poor game, or he's due for a poor game. But I got to look at the numbers, and I'm going to try to validate Pittsburgh move, or I'm not going to play the game at all. As far as the over/under, if Pittsburgh does what I think they're going to do, I think Cincinnati doesn't get to 20. So you could see that kind of a drop off right now, and that's where I'm looking to try to validate before Sunday. Again, I don't have that worked out yet, but that's where I'm looking to go.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, their defense, they're leading the league in sacks. So putting pressure on Burrow definitely is going to happen. Can he not turn the ball over? And that's one of the things I was looking at too. And like I said, I'm a Burrow fan, but he hasn't faced a defense like this, so it could be a long day. Again, I got to see a lot before I do anything on this game. If I was going to do anything, I was going to be, I'm looking Cincinnati, but again, it's hard to back bad teams. And Pittsburgh coming off a game where they just played a bad team and struggled, I think they're going to probably be awake for this. So I agree with you. Yeah. So all right, another division game. We're going out west now. It's going to be Seattle at the Rams. This is I think Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's getting 1.5. The over under here 54.5. And this Seattle defense is them in Jacksonville. This I think Allen was the AFC Player of the Year. Murray was the NFC, not the year, but the week. And then the week before that, they played Arizona, and Murray was the NFC, offensive player of the week. So this defense just can't stop anybody. I think, Seattle, I think they escaped early. They won a lot of ugly games, and Russell Wilson has been phenomenal all year long, and he's going to continue to be phenomenal. But they cannot stop anybody. They cannot stop anybody. So I like the Rams in this game. Seattle's always in the game. I don't think the Rams are going to blow them out here, but I think the Rams are going to get healthy. I think there's and the other thing I always look over in a Seattle game, I think they're 6-1 or 7-1 to the over. All their games are going 60, north of 60 plus, and because they can score, but they can't stop anybody. So I probably, even though this is a division game and division games are usually tough and they know each other a little bit better, I still see a lot of points in this game, and I like the Rams to cover, and I like the over in this game.
Yeah, could be the over. It could be the over. Could go over on this game. Rams had the week off, so they'll be hitting hard. Seattle will be getting hit hard by the Rams. It's a bad spot for Seattle because the Rams are coming off a bye, and Rams know Seattle very, very well. So, but I lean Rams. But I would take the Rams money line in this. I'm not going to mess around with a half point. If they win by one, they win by one. Who knows what can happen in a game like this. I don't want to have to win by more than I have to win by. So I'd play a minus 125 probably for the Rams a money line. But I'm going to look to justify that before Sunday because it's rare that you see Seattle lose 2 games in a row. They haven't done it at all this year. But do they regress a little bit right now because the defense finally catches up with Russell Wilson? And then is Russell Wilson mentally feeling the pressure because last week they got behind 14-0, and here he is trying to catch him up, and then the Bills just keep shoveling points in front of him. He's like trying to dig out a ditch, and it just more snows keep coming in Buffalo. And is that mentally draining? Does that drain a man to realize he's got all the weight on his shoulders? Now, I know Russell Wilson's a very positive guy, and he's very resilient, and he comes back from many things. I just think the Rams off the bye is the key here. I'm taking if I do anything, I'm taking the Rams on the money line. I'll look to justify that before Sunday.
Yeah, and I like that money line play too because these teams, again, in the NFC West, these games can get crazy, and these 2 teams particularly have played a lot of 1-point games. So the money line might be the way to go there. All right, next game, San Francisco at New Orleans. Of course, New Orleans is coming off that big win against Tampa Bay where they just smoked Tampa Bay, and San Francisco has just been devastated with injuries all year. And the last game they played was against Green Bay, and that was an easy game for me because in the NFL you got to have at least a little bit of talent. And I went through this with Arizona before Murray got here. We had I think it was when Carson Palmer was here. We were down to our 3rd string quarterback, and when you're losing offensive linemen and defensive players and running backs and quarterbacks, and I mean, at some point, everybody's going to throw the flag. And does Shanahan, get these guys motivated to play and stay inside the 9 here? I don't know. This isn't a game I'm going anywhere near. I mean, New Orleans looked like world beaters against Tampa Bay. So should they cover the 9? Again, do they relax a little bit and allow San Francisco to get here? This is just a game I have no beat on. San Francisco's beat up. I'm staying away. So I don't even have a lean in this game.
Well, and I don't either, but let's talk about both sides just from my point of view here. I'm looking at San Francisco coming off 10 days rest, and they threw the ball around really good in that game until things fell apart against Aaron Rodgers. And you got to remember now, Aaron Rodgers went in and threw it all over the place against New Orleans on that Sunday night game. I remember I was on the Saints, and Taysom Hill fumbled, and he blew the game for me late. There was no chance for them to do anything. But they were chasing that entire game too. So, it's not as if the Saints are the same caliber as the Packers. Yes, they just had the Bucs number. I think the Bucs had some issues going on. And, some small little thing in the NFL can turn into a big gap in the score. So at the end of the game, this lines up certainly with New Orleans Saints covering. As a matter of fact, it's begging for New Orleans Saint money at -9, right? Because it doesn't cross that key number of 10. I'd be inclined to look for an angle and some numbers that would validate the San Francisco 49ers plus the 9. Look, they're not going to sleep and just shutting it down. This is not the New York Jets, okay? They're a team with pride, and Shanahan's like, hey, man, let's scheme this up. Could they beat the Saints now that I'm talking about it? Listen, I don't even want to go there, but I would try to justify taking the 9 with the Niners. If I did make a play on this, I definitely wouldn't take the Saints -9. It's got a clear setup for get beat if you take the Saints -9. But again, maybe the Saints blow them out. So, but I'm just telling you where I'm looking at this right now based on with these 2 teams. And again, Vegas always wins. So, I'd be very careful taking the Saints -9.
All right. We're going to go on to Baltimore at New England. Baltimore, it's at a touchdown now, but this was my play for this week. And I've already grabbed Baltimore 6.5. I was watching that Monday night game and watching New England be dominated by the Jets pretty much that whole game until the Jets went, wait a minute, what are we doing? We're not supposed to win this. So, and then gave it away in the fourth quarter. I see Baltimore. I mean, everything I've looked at and everything I've written down I just see Baltimore winning this game and winning this game easy. I mean, I'll take the 6, it's under a touchdown. So that's why I jumped on it fast. It's at 7 now. I don't know that it moves, but I think Baltimore wins this game and pretty much controls this game. I don't even know. I think Cam's going to play. I know he had that neck. He had a neck that was hurting him. So, I still think he's going to play on Sunday, but I love Baltimore in this spot. Don't really have a feel on the total here, but Baltimore is my play this week. That's my big play this week.
Yeah, and what it seems to me in the last couple of weeks, Baltimore relying more on the run than the pass because Lamar Jackson's having some issues throwing that football and completing it. And I plan to see a lot of running by Baltimore. I would tend to agree with you on Baltimore -7. I don't think that New England can cover this. The only chance is if Baltimore runs and they scheme them up properly to stop the run. If Belichick watches a lot of film, I don't see New England scoring a lot of points, especially after they spewed out their 30 points against the Jets. I did have them scoring 30 in the Jets versus the Jets, though. But yeah, I mean, if I do anything in a Sunday night game, so I'm going to wait till late Saturday, early Sunday to take a look at this game for a late Sunday action. But I tend to lean with you on Baltimore, and if I do anything, I would definitely take Baltimore minus the points. What's where I'm leaning, or put them on a teaser to connect it, and maybe with the under in this game. So I'll have to take a look at it and see where it goes. But that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, that was the other thing is Baltimore's defense. It may only take 14 points to cover the spread here because I don't know. I don't know New England can move the ball against this Baltimore defense. So I really love this. This is one of the games. Like I said, I was watching that game Monday night, and I was just like, what's the spread in that game? I saw 6.5 and jumped on it. All right. So last game on Sunday. Do we have a Sunday night game? Did we already do the Sunday night game?
We did. This is Baltimore.
Is that Baltimore, New England? Is that the?
I believe it is. I believe it is.
Okay. So, all right. So this is the last game of the afternoon. It's going to be Buffalo at Arizona. Right now, Buffalo getting 2. And the total here, 56.5. And that's the total in this game is what I'm looking at because I think Arizona's supposed to get, I think, Murphy back and maybe Kirkpatrick back, and so they might be a little bit better in the secondary there, but they still don't. They still can't get a pass rush. And Josh Allen, if you can't get a pass rush on him, he's gonna kill you. He's been good all year long. So I see both teams scoring here. Buffalo's defense has been disappointing all year, and Arizona's offense can move the ball and they can score. So I just see a lot of points being scored in this game. I think they go north of 60 in here. I really like the over in this game. I'm hoping Arizona wins because I'm an Arizona fan, but I wouldn't be shocked if Buffalo came in here and won this by a field goal or a touchdown. So I really like the total in this. That's where my lean is, and probably my play in this game is going to be on the over.
Gotcha. Yeah. Here's how I see this. It's just a matter of me. Two things here. Buffalo feeling good about themselves after beating Seattle and overcoming that little lull, and Arizona being pissed off at themselves for dropping a game against Miami. So I would probably do the same thing as I was doing in the Rams Seattle game and go Arizona money line here if I was going to play anything. Now I don't know if I'm going to play the game, but I am leaning Arizona. I'm going to look for a play on Arizona or nothing. I did look at Buffalo. I just think Buffalo is a bad spot for Buffalo. I think Buffalo goes into Arizona. Arizona came out in the bye and basically didn't take care of business. That tells me, number one, Arizona's not a Super Bowl team. Number two, though, I don't think Buffalo's a Super Bowl team. So I think we're looking at 2 playoff teams. I think it's going to be a close game. They'll probably go back and forth. I mean, who's going to stop Murray on Buffalo's defense? Nobody, right? I mean, he's got to be upset with himself. He's got to be upset with himself for dropping that sack, fumble, touchdown. He's got to be upset. So he's going to play a sharper game. I think the Bills are just they feel a little too good about themselves, and I think that you'll see Arizona probably get the W in this game.
Yeah, and Drake should be back, and I think Hopkins is going to have a monster game. Hopkins only had 3 receptions for 30 yards, so all week they've been talking about some kind of not so cohesiveness in the locker room after the game. Murray was upset and Hopkins was upset, and I think the whole team was upset that they lost the game. So yeah, I think there's going to be, I think Hopkins is going to have a big game. Murray's going to have a big game. but that defense just scares me. And can they lose this by a field goal again? Yeah. Can they win it by a field goal? Yeah. So, but I just think both teams are going to score.
Let me give you another angle on that. If it wasn't for Miami's hard-hitting defense, Arizona probably wouldn't be arguing amongst themselves. Buffalo doesn't have a hard-hitting defense, and there you go. So I think Murray and everybody will get back in line. And, I just don't think Buffalo is as hard-nosed as Miami. And Miami, it might be Buffalo's biggest threat for the AFC East right now. So I think they got a shot for it. And if Buffalo drops this game, they certainly would. So that's kind of my thought.
All right. So that's the slate for Sunday. We're going to do some college tomorrow. We'll put that out there. But again, if you guys are watching this, smash that like button, follow, retweet it, subscribe, do whatever you can. Me and Brian, we love doing this. We love putting plays out there. We're going to win more than we lose. If you're following us, Brian's, he's putting play days out there all the time. He's hitting more than he's losing. And, I do pretty good too. So, support us. We love doing this. We want to keep doing it. And again, Twitter at ScojoAZ Sports, Instagram Scojo Picks, and my website is scojopicks.com. And now I'm on Facebook. I've got a page there, Scojo Picks, so you can find me on Facebook. And we'll be putting all this out there.
Very good. Yeah, listen, Scott, you do a great thing. You put your plays on your website, and you put it in article form. They're able to go and read that at any time. I shoot videos just to shoot it out real quick. I play less games. You play more games. We got diversification at its very best here. You talk about things. I talk about things. And we both mesh very well. We'd appreciate you guys watching. We'll continue to grow it. You can find me at @my_bankroll on Twitter. Everything else is building, but I'm not worried about promoting that right now. But I do want you to smash the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we will talk to you on our next podcast. We are out.